mothers in our homes, or even aunties, sisters, or whatever, just representing womanhood, I think we need to start introducing a narrative that encourages a balance of both.
Yes.
Because I do believe in the feminine. I do believe that we should exude certain virtues that enable us to keep our home. Because at the end of the day, if you are not a wife that knows how to take care of her home, you're going to have a failed marriage. But at the same time, I think part of being a wife who actually is able to take care of her home is her having a very strong sense of identity, of who she is, of what her purpose is. And I think that's where she finds her own confidence to thrive and be who she has been called to be. And I think that's really what we need to encourage more, especially with our younger generation. For those of us who, we've kind of grown up and it's a bit late for us to now saying, our mum should start telling us some of these things. I think what we need to do as the older generation is to really begin to go back within ourselves. We need a self-discovery journey. We need to have a greater self-awareness, greater self-mastery of ourselves. Know our skills, our talents, our abilities, know our virtues, and be confident in that. I think confidence, to me personally, is about authenticity. You've got to be comfortable with who you are. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and we were talking about, she wants things to be perfect before she can do certain things. And I said, it's your imperfection that makes you perfectly suited for what it is you want to do.
It's offering time. I think we can close church now.
That's exactly what she said. She said, girl, you be preaching today. But it's true. I think if we can just be so confident and accepting of ourselves with all of our flaws and all of our imperfections, that's where our real beauty actually shows.
Fantastic.
That's just really
I'm just
going
to pick it up from there.
Some of the tips that we can, give to people to help them. Short, sweet. Banke, I'm going to start with you, and then Stephanie, I'm going to come to you.
So I think, first of all, it's really a mindset shift that you need to have. And I think the easiest way for me to answer this question is, first of all, you need courage. You need to have the ability to say, you know what, I'm going to do this afraid. I think you also need to be optimistic. You need to have an optimistic view of life. You have to think that life is always working for you. You have to be natural. You have to be your authentic self and be comfortable in who you are. I think you also need focus. Be focused on why you are here. Be focused on your race. Be focused on your own lane, and don't be distracted by what else is going on. And I mentioned it earlier on before about being independent. Be your own cheerleader. Don't wait for someone to validate you. Don't wait for someone to empower you. Encourage yourself. Be determined, because you will find places in life where you will fall, you will be disappointed, you will be discouraged, but it's your determination that eventually gives you a resilience, a persistence to keep going, that ultimately builds up the confidence you need. I think also you need to have an enthusiastic view of your life. You need to wake up in the morning and think, you know what, I am the bomb, I am awesome, I am an unrepeatable miracle. You need to look at yourself and feel so excited that when you step out of the door, you have a bounce in your step, you have a swish in your hips, because you know that you are just all that in your own way. I think you also need to have a noticeability about you. Step out and feel your very best. Look your very best. Portray yourself constantly in the best light, because that is how you feel confident, and that's how people begin to draw the equal vibration that you need, that further validates your confidence. And I think stepping out of your comfort zone is an important part of building self-esteem and developing confidence. You want to take every day and treat it in a way that you allow yourself to do something that you've never done before, no matter how small. Because when we get used to stepping out of our comfort zone, we ultimately realize that actually there's so much more that I can do, and I'm the only one holding myself back by staying only where I am. And I think lastly, it's about being exemplary, mastering your craft, mastering who you are, knowing what you're good at, being the best at what you're good at, and really having a strong sense of emotional intelligence, self-mastery, and self-awareness. And if our listeners are really paying attention, what you would have noticed with what I just said is I actually spelt out confidence, courage, optimism, natural, focus, independence, determination, enthusiasm, noticeability, comfort zone, exemplary. That spells confidence, and that's actually how I teach it in my workshops. It's how I teach it or explain it when I'm at speaking engagement, because I think it really sums up everything we need to do practically to build that self-esteem, to maintain that confidence as well. So yeah, that's my view.
Awesome.
Awesome.
I think for me, one of the things I always speak to my clients about, and it's something that changed my own life in my own journey, is a quote by Marianne Williamson, which I know Steph probably knows as well, which talks about, us playing small, us feeling that, we can't shine too brightly, so that it doesn't, affect somebody else. And I think when I got the revelation that for every time I play small in my life, for every time I refuse to step onto the stage of life and shine like the bright star that I am not only doing a disservice to who God has created me to be, I'm doing a disservice to the person I have been called to help. Because for every time I don't shine, I can't illuminate the path for somebody else to find their own destiny, their own calling, their own purpose, their own courage, and their own confidence. And I think sometimes when we look at self-esteem, if we can look at it from a perspective of much deeper than it just being about us, and seeing it as, for lack of a better word, a ministry where we are actually on this earth to serve others, and we serve others through being who we have been called to be. That's what we call purposeful living. And so if we can understand that every day you choose to not live the fullness of who you are, embrace your total authenticity, and step out every day with that willingness to shine, you are actually depriving somebody else whose life actually depends on the brightness of your star.
At this point,
life is constantly giving you feedback.
Yes.
Everything that you encounter, every person that you're with, every relationship, every interaction you have in the living world is actually giving you a very clear feedback as to who you are, who you need to be, or who you need to stop being. But the problem we have is we live almost like in this void where we can't decode what the feedback is. And if we can become more attuned and attentive to what is happening in our everyday life, you will get to a place where you become more intuitive, you become more assertive, and you also become more responsive. And you realize that you don't actually have to react to everything. You can just take a step back, process it, and then choose what is my next best step, what is my next response to have. I think for me, I will use one of my favorite affirmations, which is, I am an unrepeatable miracle. There is no other person like you. And if you can stand up every day and look at yourself in the mirror and see the full expression of the excellent creation in you, you will have a boldness to step out. You guys can catch me on Banke Sotomi. That's just my name. My surname is spelled Sotomi. I'm known as the Unstuck Mentor, and that's really where I have my coaching resources. I have live classes on Wednesdays, Instagram Live, and also I have a whole host of resources that I think will help you in your journey of self-worth.